What is up, legends? We are back, and we are back in HypeWatch, yo. Another week, another HypeWatch. So we have some good games to talk about, and industry news at the end, which I will explain so people further understand and maybe save you some money. So we're starting off with the PC stuff, as always, and what HypeWatch we do. We cover PC and mobile titles, and the first PC title that we're going to be covering is River Tales. Now, I have been told that this is extremely lit. I just heard about this earlier this week, and it is available for you guys to download right now in a demo, and you can see right here. It costs $15.99. Not that expensive. Very positive on the reviews. Like I said, I was brought to my attention this week on how cool the game is, what type of game it is. As you can see, it's a co-op adventure. Definitely one of those, if you got a husbando or a waifu, hop in here and try to play the game together. You can be a cat or a fish, and you have to work together to get through things, and it's kind of lit. Kind of like It Takes Two, that type of game, and I'm always interested in these types of games because they usually have like the most interesting gameplay because they're designed well. So as you can see, like this looks like it's really designed well. Like it's like a homage to the old school like Crash Bandicoot and Mario 64 type of stuff. So we will see, and yeah. Next up is Championship. Now this is definitely very different. It's kind of like an ARPG. It is a roguelike, but you could transform into a car, basically. Like I like just even saying that line is like, what? Like, what are we talking about here? But as you guys can see, this that car coming by is hilarious. I'm actually going to try this weekend, but I definitely want to show this in HypeWatch just in case I don't or I don't get a chance to, because I have to actually. I'm supposed to be sponsored to do Diablo stuff, and I haven't been because I don't have time, and I don't want them to get mad at me because they didn't have to give it to me. So I have to concentrate on Diablo for this weekend, so I may not even get to this, but I definitely want to show this. So next up we have It's Like a Slow. This is interesting. This is obviously on the mobile side of this, but if you wanted to get waifus and kind of build up your town and everything else like this, I showed something similar to this before, but this is officially more streamlined right now. And a lot of people like the waifus. I figured I'd give you another waifu bait. Obviously not something I'm going to cover, but have at it. Next up, we have Game of Honor. This actually looks like a medieval version of Dislight. I'm not gonna lie. That's what it looks like. So if you were a Dislight fan, you might like Game of Honor. Just putting it out there. Next up, we have Lost Eden Divine Power. This is pre-reg right here. This is going to be another one of those games where you can actually make a character look really good. You're going to be on rails, running around, doing slightly cool stuff. Slightly Nino Kuni cool, like doing all this right here, and you ain't gonna never see this. You're gonna have this pouty looking girl and never see her because you're gonna be behind her head, behind her blonde hair, and unless it's in a cutscene, you ain't gonna never see that pouty face right there. But that's just the way the games are. It's nice that they have that type of stuff, but it's unfortunate on mobile. Next up, we have Inario Legend Dragon Hunt. There's another game that people have been saying is kind of good, like Summoner's War Chronicles. Like, not like that's really burning anything up, but monsters level up and get stronger and get cooler. It kind of feels like Digimon, which is probably the reason why people are liking it right now. And it was brought to my attention, as you guys could see, just came out a day or two ago. So hop into it if you like that. You guys could let me know because I'm not really that interested, but when I get enough people saying, hey, you should really try this, and it's coming from multiple sources and not just like one person who's just like fanboying over a game, when I get like 3 or 4 people saying it, then next up is D-War. Now, this is one of those games, another one of those games. They're doing a lot of this, by the way. A lot of these are like mafia type, take over the city, get a waifu, be a mob boss type of things. But this feels more like a shooter than it. I know you're gonna like a shooter, but you just gotta try it. It feels more like a shooter, kind of like Division 2. I know you're like, what? No, but trust me, this might be the most interesting game up here. today anyway. Next is War Civilization. This is a city builder with mechs and everything else like that. So if you're into that type of thing, and the mechs actually do look like that. They're small, but they still, kind of do that. Big bosses and everything. I'm not really a city builder guy, but like to actually step through. Click Deity is exactly how it sounds. You get guys together, you get to click, and it's a little bit idle. Actually, it's a lot idle, which is why it's not being shown. But it's pretty cool. If you're into that type of thing, you get 6 units to actually mess around with. The character design is not that bad. Voice acting is a little bit funny. I'll leave that to you to decide. Next up, which also might be one of the cooler things up here, which you're probably going to see. I'm probably going to make time for this one because this is like Vampire Savior, but with martial artists. And I just want to show you guys this because it has some cool like amazing looking type of stuff, and you got to survive. And Vampire Savior likes are kind of like a big thing right now, so definitely something that you can hop into and mess with. Next up is Call of Kings. I would have actually put this on the channel, but every drop of music in this game flags because they just straight up took music from places that they didn't have a license to. With that said, the game itself is not that bad. It's kind of like a overlapping version of I think Mythic Legends, if you guys remember that game. It's kind of like the idle type of game, stuff like that. So if you appreciate and like that type of thing, might be for you. So let's change up a little bit. Let's go to this dude first. Zenonia Chrono Break is came out the 27th. There's a lot of Zenonia fans. Zenonia was one of the first mobile games, the first one that I played on a cell phone, like literally like 10 or 15 years ago. On the cell phone on my Nokia S22 Nokia S22. It was the first one that I played. People was like, holy crap, like, yeah, when Sprint, like, I was so happy to get a cell phone. I had Bejeweled on it and Zenonia 1, and you couldn't tell me nothing. I used to just travel places just to be able to play Zenonia 1 on my cell phone. It was so ghetto, but but it was still lit that you were playing like kind of like a Zelda like on your cell phone. But anyway, this is not that. This is not Zenonia 1 through 5. This is pretty much Ni no Kuni in the Zenonia universe. The mobile game Ni no Kuni though, by the way. So if you're into that, then, might be your thing. But the reason why this got a 3.5 on Q app is because people were not expecting that. They wanted Zenonia like 1 through 5. And this is really just like Ni no Kuni and Seven Nights and all those types of games. So that's kind of like unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this real quick before we get into the hype of the week, the Pokemon Go devs, this is on Kotaku, by the way, so shout out to them. I'm putting the link in the description for the ad so they get full credit for this. Pokemon Go devs lay off 230 employees, cancel upcoming Marvel game. I was in a meeting earlier this week, a press meeting, where I got invited to Anime Expo. I'm not going, obviously, because they invited me on effing Tuesday. And hey, could you come across the country to California by Friday? Like, it's Friday now, by the way. So why am I getting Origin ads? Ew. Anyway, I know why. It's because I needed I know why. I needed something for my computer. That's why I'm getting computer ads now. Anyway, so in the meeting, back on track. In the meeting, it was basically talked about the money crunch in the industry and what's going on and how it's not really talked about. I've been talking about it though, but and what's happening with mobile. So when you see a lot of games being canceled and people are like, oh, the game sucked and everything else like this, what it really is happening right now is the pandemic put everybody behind and there's not enough money. I've been saying this for a long time. There's not enough money to facilitate all of the games that we had, especially in mobile, because mobile is considered expendable money that people are spending right now. That no longer exists right now because a lot of people aren't working or don't have the same jobs or not making the same money. Companies are recovering and having less employees. So there's just less money overall. They said the gaming industry gets expendable money about 7 trillion a year. There's half of that now. And you have to think about that for a second. That half of the 3.5 trillion is just gone because people just don't have their money anymore. That's 3.5 trillion out of the economy of gaming. Now that's just gaming in general. That's all of gaming, not just mobile and everything else. Mobile had a good slice of that, but not at like all of it. So you put that into perspective about games, and a company basically is making less money now, and the price of everything has gone up, including like servers. Servers went up 3 times that amount. So if they're making less money and the price of servers went up 3 times, then they actually rent or completely buy like a rollback variable 1 million slot server that can handle people, which is like we saw like with Brown Dust. I'm assuming that they had to go get that because they did not have that at day one. That's why Brown Dust 2 was having a heart attack, because it could not handle all of those people that was basically forced onto that game. Like it was not a thing. It was not happening. That was just not a thing that was going to be very viable. So when you put that in perspective and kind of understand what's going on, at the end of the day, you say, okay, companies have to make a choice now. Do I build and have multiple games, or do I shut down and kind of like run one game? So they have to slice down how many people are in the company. They have to slice down how many games they actually have. About the only company that probably isn't feeling that is HypeWatch right now in mobile, because they just show up and just make money. This is what it is. However, as I showed you guys previously in HypeWatch, it does affect them in somewhat because they have multiple games, and now the games are kind of like sharing the community, like Honkai Star Rail, Honkai Impact, and Genshin Impact. When one of the 3 gets a expansion or some type of good content, the other ones fall flat a little bit because there's just not enough income for all that. At one point there was, but it's just not now. So the same thing goes with this, which is why this kind of happened with this company. And it's interesting that this got announced when it got announced, because the industry is bracing that it's going to get even worse, which leads me to what I'm about to say. Be very careful. Even when a game that comes out as hot as Brown Dust right now, be very careful with your money. Be very careful how much you invest into these games right now. I'm just saying it for your own good right now, from an insider as a press person right now. Be careful with your money. Nobody is telling me to say this. Nobody is. That's what I got from my aspect of that little meeting with the press people. Be very careful with your money. There's nothing guaranteed. These games could shut down tomorrow, like every single one of them. That's why you see me not really spending a lot in anything anymore. I'll spend like on a battle pass or something like that, but whaling or trying to spend like hundreds of dollars and stuff like this, I'm just not doing it, because there's no guarantee on anything right now. Even the HypeWatch game, there's no guarantee on that either. They're making money, but there's no guarantee on I just be very careful with your money is what I'm trying to say right now, more so than ever. And last but certainly not least is Metal Slug has a new game coming very soon. This is a beta test right now, Metal Slug Awakening right now. Now, here's the thing. They had another version of this, and this is kind of like supposed to be like a better version, and this is why this is the hype. If they do this properly, it could be lit. But as we saw with Contra, people kind of like forgotten the retro stuff and kind of like moved on to other things and stuff like that. So they have to promote, because there was nothing wrong with the first Metal Slug. It was actually pretty good. It's an excellent game. It had the stuff from the original game, like all of it put together, same thing like with the Contra, but it wasn't promoted. Nobody even knew what it had. When I did the video for it a year ago, but it was like, what? Like, they have to promote. And I know the reason why I don't do this, because for what we just were talking about, there's not a lot of money to even, like, ads cost like billions, millions and billions. I'm not kidding. So they don't have a lot of that stuff. So what they have to do is they have to reach out to the content creators and let the content creators promote. I don't know why game companies just, I hate to say that it's kind of like free. Empower your content creators and empower creators to just get out there and drop them little, like, you don't even, like, the industry standard for a content creator for doing a video is like between $100 to $1,000. That is 100 times cheaper than buying an ad. It just is. It just is. So it's 100 times cheaper than buying ad space. Like getting a billboard in New York or Times Square or something like that. I don't know why companies just don't do it. I'm not trying to say for me. I'm just talking about for any game, because obviously I'm not going to be doing any old game. But companies, like, I know a lot of companies watch HypeWatch, and I'm talking specifically to them right now. Like, y'all should empower your creators who will play and cover your game, because it will get you further in the industry. That's just a me thing. So I will catch you guys next video. Be legendary. Happy Sunday. I hope you had a great week. And by the time you see this, it'll be July 4th. It's going to be in a couple of days. Eat that food, boy. Catch you guys later. Or girl. Peace. Thank you, legends, for getting to the end of the video. We do 3 to 4 videos every day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be first in notification squad. I love everybody who stops by, and I will see you next video. Peace.